Joining me now is author and political commentator Shemeka Michelle.
Shemeka Michelle.
Shemeka Michelle.
Shemeka Michelle.
When God looked at man, he said it's not good for man to be alone. He gave him a woman. He didn't give him a village. He didn't give him the community. He said, be fruitful and multiply to this man and this woman. So it's supposed to be God, husband, wife.
If you always do what you've always done, you will always get what you've always done.
Hello, and welcome to Shaking My Head with Shemeka Michelle. I am your host, Shemeka Michelle, and welcome back to the Head Shakers. This week, our theme is Empowered People Don't Ask Permission. Yesterday, we talked with Maj Toure about gun rights as civil rights, but honestly, really about them being human rights. We have the right to defend ourselves. Today, I want to go deeper because the same way we don't need permission to defend ourselves, we also don't need permission to be in this country. For too long, Black Americans have conditioned or have been conditioned to believe we're outsiders, that we're guests who need a visitor's pass to be in America. That lie shows up everywhere, in politics, in media, in how we're taught our own history, honestly, how we carry ourselves. It's not even about now somebody doesn't want us here. We, as Black people, carry ourselves as guests, as incapable. But here's the truth. Black people are not visitors. We're not tenants. We're owners. We help to build this country. Our blood, our labor, our culture are woven into the foundation of America. So today, we're going to dismantle the outsider myth once and for all and talk about what it means to be an unapologetic citizen. Not asking, not begging, just being who we already are, rightful Americans. So I want to play this video for you all. It was from the Summer of Love 2020. Y'all remember what the Summer of Love was, right? You do. We all remember. Gonna play this video. I don't know who this girl is, but she comes across very feisty. Let me make sure the volume is all the way up. One second, guys. 1 second. I'm sorry. Here we go. Let's try this again.
A Black woman. I do not need a white man to tell me that my life matters. You hear what I'm saying? I know that I'm fabulous. I know that my life matters. You don't have the right to tell me my life matters. I don't need your privilege to tell me or to justify who I am in America. This is my country. This is my land. My ancestors built this country. So I'm going to walk around here as bold as I want to. And I don't have to have you to co-sign and tell me my life matters. That right there insinuates that you think your voice is bigger and better than mine. You are supporting an organization that does not like Black men. And as a Black woman, I can tell you how important Black men are to the Black family. Without them, we are nothing. So when you support an organization that doesn't push them up the way we need them to be, you ain't shit. A Black woman.
I don't know who that person was, but she seems very fiery. And I think that I can kind of speak on her behalf and just say the Summer of Love got on my last nerve, okay? It got on my nerve because I was sick of it. I was sick of the idea that we needed or were looking or were seeking white people to tell us our lives mattered. I hated that idea. I hated going through a walk or going for a walk through my neighborhood and seeing signs, Black Lives Matter. I knew my life mattered. I knew I was fabulous. I was funny. I was witty. I was smart. I was cute. I got a nice shape. I knew all of that. And I knew that my life mattered. So the idea that people bought into the fact or the feeling that we needed as Black people to hear that we mattered, it irritated me. And that particular incident happened in California, but that was the sentiment like across the country from those Antifa people, those BLM people. They would just hold up signs and be antagonistic, saying Black Lives Matter, but they wouldn't talk to us. They wouldn't talk to me. So my whole thing was my Black life matters, but not my Black opinion. Like that really got under my skin. And so I just began to tell them, listen, I don't need your validation. What you are doing out here holding a sign like, I need your voice to make me understand how valuable I am, you are not God. And I am one of these people that I don't buy into the idea of white supremacy, because for me, in order to believe in white supremacy, I would have to believe in Black inferiority. And I'm not inferior to anyone. God fearfully and wonderfully made me as well. So the idea that I needed to ask someone for permission for my life to be silliness. And then we look at the millions of dollars that Black Lives Matter organization raised. And I believe, I would say not one dime, but if it was a dime, it was only a few of them that you could rub together. Those dimes did not come back into the Black community. Those 3 lesbians that started Black Lives Matter went out and bought themselves multiple mansions, houses, cars, probably clothes. I mean, they spent the money because Black people didn't know who they were, and were Black people were going around seeking validation from white people, and white people were feeling guilty just coming out their pockets. Oh, we got to let them know that their lives matter. I hated that idea. I had somebody the other day tell me, they commented on one of the clips from when D and I did. It was either when D and I, or maybe the day before, when I did something on Charlie Kirk. They commented that this was white folks' business and we needed to stay out of it, and we didn't need to be disagreeing on it. And I told them, if you think evil stops at white folks, you're on the wrong channel, because I don't subscribe to that idea, nor do I subscribe to the idea that we should be penalizing people for something they never did, for something that we endured. I didn't wake up with chains this morning. I was free. So this idea that we should walk around hating white people or needing white people in order to get something done is silly to me, and I just don't subscribe to it. So if that's what people are looking for, there are plenty other places to park. There are plenty of other channels that will give you the woo, 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 you're such a victim. Woo, 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 you can't do. Woo, woo, woo. We need to help you because you're extra special, just extra retarded because you're Black. And we're going to go above and beyond to make you feel cared for, wanted, and loved. Woo, woo, woo. That's not me. It's absolutely not who I am. But before I get into it today, to say empowered people don't need permission or don't ask for permission, before I let you know that we belong here, stop acting like we don't. We are not guests in America. Please stop the lie. I would like to say hello to all of the head shakers. Hello. I can't. Is this Will? I can't see that. Y'all know I don't like wearing my little reading glasses. Hi, Taco the Great, Khalees, Sharisa, Melina, Rowan Lizard, fan of all metal. Hello, stimulated students, Miguel, power players, activewear.com. Hello, hello, hello. It is definitely not 1865. And it's so annoying to me when people act as if it is. And I always wonder, we talked a little bit about how we got here. The myth of outsiderness. And why is there a narrative that Black Americans are not fully American? Part of that I understand is the whole understanding of the 3/5 compromise. The 3/5 compromise was about 3/5 of the enslaved population in the state would be counted for the purposes of determining both congressional representation and direct taxation. I do understand that there were some people that said, no, they thought that we were just 3/5 of a man. I would say slave owners probably wouldn't have given you that. They would not have considered you men at all. But regardless of how you want to determine what 3/5 mean, this is 2025. We know that we are whole men and women. We are counted as a person, one person, and we're counted now. So to my daughter that has me screaming, I don't know if she does that so to make me say, let me turn my volume down on what I'm saying, but I can hear her listening to me upstairs and I'm loud. Sweetheart, please turn it down or close your door or something because it's distracting me hearing my echo. Thank you so much. But it's now 2025. So to still walk around here as if you are not counted as a full citizen, you are not counted as a full man, is silliness. And that says more about you and your lack of understanding of who you are than it does about anybody else. The media, schools, and politicians, they reinforce this idea. Schools are consistently teaching that whites are inherently evil or superior and that Blacks are inherently inferior. And what I'm trying to figure out is, why do we even allow our children to go sit in classrooms where they are teaching this, Black or white? If I was a white parent, I would not want my child going to school and having to listen to BS about them being inherently evil or just thinking they were superior because of their white skin. In turn, I don't want my Black children, or didn't want my Black children, sitting in school for somebody to constantly tell them they're less than because of the color of their skin. That's absolutely silly to me. And what I'm trying to figure out is, why do we buy into that? Why do we buy into Black kids can't do the same math, can't read on the same level, can't write on the same level? And it burns me up, because if I had a dog, and I used to own a dog, if I took that dog to a dog trainer and the dog trainer said to me, I can teach your dog to sit, to roll over. I can teach your dog to fetch. I can teach your dog when to attack. All of this from a dog trainer. If I took my dog to that trainer and my trainer is saying, this is what I can teach your dog to do, I would expect nothing less. But what I'm trying to figure out is, why do we feel like Black kids can't achieve? So much so that we're always lobbying for lower test scores. We're lobbying for them to not have to complete homework. We're lobbying for them to not have to reach the same standards as others. Yet, if I took my dog into a dog trainer, I would expect that dog to learn. So why do we not expect our Black children to learn? Why do we let the media and politicians and schools tell us that we are inferior? Because we buy into our ancestors came from somewhere else. I know I'm like the 7th generation here. You mean to tell me out of 7 generations, we haven't began to shape up? We haven't began to be able to learn and achieve on the same level as others? There are people here whose grandparents came from Poland, yet they're expected to achieve and be great. But we are still pushing this narrative that we can't do, or our children can't do. And we allow people to run with that narrative and tell us that we're less than. And we're always walking around. I saw somebody the other day, they had posted a video and it said, go back to Africa. Well, bitch, I've never been to Africa. I would like to visit one day, but how do I go back to somewhere that I've never been? My mother has never been to Africa. My grandmother, my great-grandmother, my great-great-grandmother, born right here in America. So how do you feel you have the audacity to tell Black people living now in 2025 to go back anywhere? And how do Black people listen to that or walk around without the same confidence that you belong here? Y'all are constantly focused on a place that some of you may never go. You're focused on soil that your feet will never plant in. But you continue to walk around here like you're a guest, like you don't belong here, like you need permission to be here. And this isn't me pointing the finger at white people. This is me pointing the finger at Blacks. Because you are the ones that buy into the narrative. I don't care if someone who subscribes to white supremacy tell you otherwise. Again, I don't buy into the idea of white supremacy, because to me, I would have to then subscribe to the idea of Black inferiority, and I just don't. To me, white supremacy doesn't exist. Are there some people who feel like whites are supreme? Of course there are. Or that whites are superior? Of course there are. Just like there are those who believe blacks are superior, Asians are superior, Hispanics are superior, whatever. But you don't have to buy into it. And you certainly don't have to walk around and keep eating the victim mentality narrative that they keep feeding you. Y'all just eat it up. Just chew it. And can I get seconds? Can I get seconds of this I can't achieve? Can I get seconds of this I can never be anything but what the white man has given me permission to be? Can I get seconds? Can I also get it for dessert? You just eat it up. And that's a myth of us being on the outside. My grandmother is 91 years old. Do you know how foolish she would look at 91 if for 91 years in America, all she did was dream about Africa, going back home to a place she never ever made it to? She would look silly. And she would look as if she wasted 91 years fantasizing about a place she's never been and will never go. Yet that's what we do. The historical truth is contributions of Black Americans to America's founding growth and culture, those are facts. Those are facts. Your ancestors contributed to the America we see today. So why do you still act as if you don't belong? Because every time you want to like throw it in someone's faces, you say, ugh, my ancestors built this place. My ancestors built America. Everything that y'all do was first done by Blacks. Ain't that what you say? Black people created everything according to many of you. So if you actually feel that way, though, why out of the same mouth do you then act as if you can't achieve, you can't excel, and that your kids need a lower standard? That your kids are retarded and need some type of extra help or else they won't succeed. Why do you walk around as if you won't succeed? Because every day white people wake up trying to think of ways to hold Black people down, hold Black people back. When the truth is you are where you are because of what you have done or what you have not done. Because it is facts, our ancestors helped build this country, which says to me, I am not a guest. I am not a guest, and I don't need my existence to be validated to the degree that you all are seeking validation. I get completely irritated when some white person wants to grin in my face, not because, they genuinely want to, but because they feel like I need it to know that I matter. You is smart. You is important. I don't, no, thank you. I know. I'm good on that. Which is why I can also have genuine, real white friends. Because we just hang around each other and we just are. My white friends don't feel like they need to cater to me because I'm stupid or I'm mentally incapable or I'm slower than they are. We just have regular conversations. And if it's something that I don't know, I better Google it or try to get a book and read about it. They don't use kid gloves with me because I'm Black. But so many go seeking and searching for people who use kid gloves. Oh, I can't say this around Shemeka. She's going to get offended. I can't say this around Shemeka. Her feelings are going to get hurt. I can't say this around Shemeka. She's going to think it's a microaggression. I can't say this around Shemeka. She's going to think I think she's less than. We don't play those type of games with each other. And honestly, I feel like life is a lot less stressful when you're not walking around needing validation from someone else. So let's talk about welfare, affirmative action, DEI, systems that frame Black people as needing approval. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not one of these people that have an issue with welfare when it is used. And clearly, I understand that white people get welfare. There's more white people on welfare. I understand that simply because I understand that they're the majority. Okay. I know that the 13%, which not even all the 13% are on any type of welfare. I get that. But that's what people like to say. Oh, it's more white people getting welfare. Yeah. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you don't understand math and percentages the way you should. But yes, we understand that. So when I talk about welfare, I'm not talking as a person who's saying, get them Blacks off welfare. No, I'm not one of these people, Black, white, whatever. As long as it's used when you are in a place of just needing a cushion to kind of help you get back on track. I don't care what color you are. For me, I wish the elderly who didn't have enough could actually get more. If you're handicapped and you can't get out here and work and do something to acquire money, I'm all for that as well. So I don't even see welfare as a black issue. Now, I do have a problem with these illegal immigrants coming over here and getting assistance. I definitely have an issue with that. Get out of the country, go back home, figure out something over there. I definitely have a problem with that because I watch them give money and aid to illegal immigrants when there are veterans or just people who are Americans who can't get that same assistance. I definitely have a problem with that. And affirmative action, I feel like at one time it was needed. Y'all don't need it no more. We don't need it. DEI, we don't need it. We don't benefit from it the most either, but I'm saying we don't need it. The idea that we need to be going around lobbying, rallying, and protesting for things that we don't need is ridiculous. It really annoys me when I see people act as if other people don't think they're smart when you push DEI qualities or incentives. When Joe Biden said he was going to choose a Black woman to be his running mate for vice president, I found issue with that. Yes, one, because I felt like I see how they roll, and I didn't want to look at it. I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to experience it. But also it bothered me because I felt like if that's something that he wanted to do, keep it to yourself, but say you want to find someone who is qualified, competent, that you think is the best person for the job. And then if it happened to be a Black woman, so be it. But when that is the leading qualification, you have to expect that people are going to look at that sideways. I don't want somebody to put me in a position simply because I'm a Black woman. Put me there because you like the way I think. Put me there because you know that I'm fearless and I'm going to go and I'm not going to be afraid and nobody's going to make me walk back what I feel or what I think or what I want to say. Put me there because you feel like I'm capable, I'm intelligent, I'm able. And then, oh, and she happens to be a Black woman. Or she happens to be a woman who is also Black. But y'all get upset when people are looking sideways. But when you have corporations leading with, I want Black, or I want more women, or we want more Asians, the qualifications seem real minor. The qualifications seem real low level when that's what they're going after. I don't feel like we need that. I believe that we are actually capable of achieving. When I have children who come out of school with 4 point something, can go on to college on scholarships, I don't want to hear that somebody else can achieve because they're Black. I don't want to hear that standards need to be lowered because someone is Black. And I'm talking about educational standards. I'm talking about behavioral standards. The idea that you can go out and act like an untamed gorilla simply because you're Black is foolishness to me, and it will never be accepted. I will never accept that. I don't want to hear because you're poor, you have a certain behavior, because I'm sure we can all look back at our ancestors who were considered poor, who also acted like they had sense, carried themselves with class. There was no, this ain't my country. They were here and they were going to be great while here. There's a danger in constantly seeking validation. We see it just on social media, the danger of seeking validation. Do you see what people do for likes, for comments? They harm children. They sit around and watch children be harmed for a viral video. Will watch an old lady get cracked over the head, not step in because it's a viral moment. Let me be the first one to post the video. There is danger to seeking validation. Because if you live by the praise, you will die by the criticism. Point blank, period. That's for anybody. If you wake up in the morning looking for a white person to praise you, when they don't, you will die by the criticism. You will feel worthless. And what bothers me, or bothers me even more, are all of the people who claim to be Bible believers, but you believe in the Bible and white supremacy. Tell me how that works. how do you subscribe to white supremacy and the Bible? You can do all things through Christ who strengthens you unless the white man come through and stop you. God has given you power and authority to tread over serpents and scorpions and over all the power of the enemy, that nothing shall by any means hurt you unless the white man stop you. I am fearfully and wonderfully made unless the white man say I ain't. The two don't match. They don't mesh. They don't meet up. I don't understand how you reconcile that in your brain. I'm a Bible believer, a Quran believer, whatever it is. I rub the belly of Buddha, but somebody else has power and authority over me, and I'm less than. Now, I don't know much about the belly of Buddha. I just threw that in there. There's danger in always seeking validation. There is danger in always waiting for somebody to tell you you can. You can go, you can be, you can do. There is danger in always seeking that validation. And if you don't believe me when it comes to just being citizens of America, just look around on social media and see what's happening to all of the people seeking validation from others and what they're willing to do to get this validation. The morals and values they're willing to toss out the window to get this validation. Just look around. Don't believe me. Don't believe the hype. Don't believe what I'm saying. Just look around and see it with your own eyes. And when you are constantly seeking validation, when you are constantly walking around like, woe is me, I don't belong here, this isn't my country, it creates and promotes a cycle of dependency. Dependency. You're dependent on someone to tell you whether or not you can achieve, whether or not you can succeed, whether or not you can actually relax. This is my home. Guests, when they come to my house, they don't just walk in my kitchen and go open the refrigerator. They are dependent on me to actually give them something if they're thirsty. They don't just go in my pantry to see what snacks I have. That their stomach can be touching their back. I can just hear the stomach. But they are dependent on me when they are guests in my house to get something they actually need or want. It creates a cycle of dependency when we're constantly having the thought that this isn't our home. We're in a strange land. Some of you don't even have a passport, talking about you in a strange land. This not your home. Well, it seems like your home to me, because where else you gonna live? Where are you gonna go? This is a mental jail, and the battle starts in your mind. That's a mental jail, and you all have subscribed to it for years. I have been hearing about going back to Africa for a long time. Some of the same people hollering, I'm going back to Africa, or I'm going back home, or I'm going to the motherland. Some of the same people have still never been. Some of the same white people saying, well, we go back to Africa. ancestors haven't even been here as long. Grandma was raised in Sicily, or grandma was, raised in Ireland. 1 and 2 generations in, you letting them tell you whether or not you are citizens of the country and whether you should take care of your country. You're so gone mentally that you feel like applauding illegal immigration is spiting white people. It's spiting you as well. I don't know Black people that would just open their door to their home and say, oh, come on in. I know I pay the bills here, but just anybody, whoever, just come on in. Get what you want, Sleep. Oh, you going to sleep in my bed? I'm not going to have anywhere to sleep. Okay, that's fine. But I sit and watch y'all applaud illegal immigration because you think it's spiting white people and this ain't your home. We're not guests in America. Stop acting like it. Legal fact. Black Americans are citizens with the same rights as everyone else. We have the same rights. Now, I do understand that many of you will say, well, when it comes to certain systems, they do this and they do that. I'm talking about rights. And on yesterday, Marge said if he could actually suppress people or have them thinking they should live a certain way while he controlled them or ruled them or whatever, he would. So when you sit around and whine and complain about the wrong things, they sit back, the oppressors, the elites, whatever, the 1%, they say, yeah, they still think they're visitors 7, 8 generations in. They still feel like they don't belong. They're still arguing over race. They still think everything is black and white. We don't have to continue to try to oppress them. They sign up to be oppressed. It's all in their minds. And they wake up every morning and subscribe to a victim mentality, a life of oppression, a life of victimhood. Oh, we gave them rights. They got rights now, but they don't know it. They'll rather keep fighting over stuff that doesn't matter. We had a whole campaign called Black Lives Matter. You fools in 2020 still needed somebody to tell you your life mattered. What kind of craziness is that? It's foolishness. I'm watching white people bend over and apologize. Oh my God. Talking to me, singing. Hi, how are you? Yeah, just, what's been happening to Black people? I just need you to know I'm on your side. Your life matters. Stop singing to me. I don't need you to tell me my life matters. Stop that singing. Not 1965. Not even 1865. 2025, y'all still letting people sing to you to lull you into thinking something that you should already know. Your life matters. It's the backhand. Sing me one more sentence, little liberal white woman. One more time. But y'all are still allowing it because you don't understand you are not guests in America. You're not guests. Cultural fact: Black voices, culture, and labor have shaped America. The question now is, which Black voices are y'all listening to? When you still want to run around here and think that you're less than, oppressed, which Black voices are y'all listening to? Looks to me that you are listening to people making millions of dollars, billions, some of them, Oprah Winfrey, still telling you you can't achieve. Y'all let this fat, dark-skinned Black lady climb up the ranks with a weight yo-yoing, become a billionaire, but still push the narrative that nobody else can do it. We can't do it. We are less than. Her and her friend Gayle King sitting, living good, but still pushing a narrative that Blacks can't make it in America. She loved y'all so much, she built a school in Africa where she really knew they were oppressed because she know y'all ain't oppressed here. She'll tell you, because that's what you want to hear, that you can't achieve. She'll tell you that. But she built a school in Africa where she felt like they really, needed something. She ain't build no school here. Because she know for real, you have the same chances that she had. If she could get behind a microphone and a camera with a weight yo-yoing all over the place, nose spread from the left to the right of the screen, she know you could do it too. But instead, we let these people succeed, do something in America that they could not do in any other country, then start saying, but we're oppressed. We can't do it. And we buy into it when it's a fact that Black voices, culture, and labor help shape America. Nobody can argue that. Blood, sweat, and tears by the people who were here in the building of America. Whether they did it because they wanted to or because somebody had a whip, cracking that whip, this is what you better do. Whether they did it because they wanted to or there was some German shepherds barking up behind them. They helped shape America. So for y'all to be sitting around here in 2025, still needing a pat on the head like some little dumb dogs, it's nobody's fault but yours. Nobody's fault but yours. We must live and act like owners, not visitors. Y'all saw the woman who shall not be named in that video I played in the beginning? When I said, this is my country, this is my land, so I'm going to walk around here as bold as I want to, that's how I feel. I've never been to Africa. I would love to see it one day. I haven't made it yet. So I'm not going to sit around like I'm a guest in a country that Black voices, culture, and labor help shape. I'm not going to sit around like a guest. I'm not going to wait for somebody to give me permission to be comfortable here. This is my home. I wish somebody would say, welcome. I don't need you to welcome me to my home. When I leave my house and I go somewhere, I don't care how long I'm gone. A couple hours, a couple days, a couple of weeks. When I come home, there is no one opening my door talking about, hey, welcome back. Let me show you around. Nobody. It's my home. And when I'm sitting in my home, I sit in my couch or on my couch. I'm comfortable. I sit back. Sometimes I prop my feet up on my coffee table. I relax because I am at home. And this is what I'm telling you all it's time for you to do. Relax like you're at home and take care of your home. Now, some of you sling shit all over the walls in your house. I know you do. Put holes in the wall. It's nasty. It's dirty. I know you do. But for most of us, regardless of the melanin in our skin, for most of us, we take care of what we believe is ours. We take care of it. We treat it right. We make sure somebody else don't come around and mistreat it. I'm not going to let somebody who don't pay bills in my house come in here and put holes in the wall. Decide not to go and use the toilet, just piss all over the floor. I'm not going to let somebody do that. Treat this place like it's your home because it is. And if for any reason you feel like it, and listen, somebody, when I reposted someone who posted this morning, make sure you tune in, and the thumbnail said we belong here, and I said we're not guests in America. Stop acting like it. Somebody went, they're so heavenly minded, they're no earthly good. They commented, we're all guests on earth. Shut up. Come on. You please. Some of y'all get on my nerves. We're all guests on the earth. Shut up. Stick a sock in it. Shut your pie hole. Whatever it is you like to hear to get you to press them lips together and suck them big teeth up in your mouth when you know exactly what I mean. So heavenly minded, you're no earthly good. You know exactly what I'm talking about when I say we are not guests in America. Treat the place like it's your home. Act like it's your home. Act like you have some sense. When I go to somebody else's house, I sit on the edge of the couch. I don't know it just because I'm not sure. I don't know what they did last summer or last night on that couch. I typically don't relax and get under a blanket and, I'm a visitor for the first time. I'm not going to take my shoes off. I'm going to sit there real stiff and stuffy. Smile won't even be genuine. I'm smiling a little bit thinking, I hope they don't have bed bugs. Hope they don't have roaches. Seriously, that's how I think when I go to somebody else's house. I don't sit back and get comfortable in the couch. It's not my home. But when it's my home, I take ownership of my home. And I treat my home with respect. And I walk through my home with confidence. And I don't need permission in my home. I'm not asking someone for a glass of water in my home. Unless it's my kids, because I tell them I birthed them to have some little helpers. But typically, I don't have to ask permission for anything in my home. It's mine. This is what unapologetic citizenship look like. This is what it looks like. You're confident. You're a good steward over your home. You're not a guest. This is yours, and you're a good steward over it. You exercise rights in your home without hesitation. You don't mind building a family in your home. You don't mind building businesses in your home. Like, you don't mind being exactly who you are. Speaking the truth without apology in your home. So we're not guests in America. Stop acting like it. Walk in ownership. Again, are there those who own something and mistreat it? Yes. They are the R word. Okay? But for those of you with some sense, you know how to treat your home. You know how to take care of it, and you are thankful and you're grateful, and you walk around with confidence. One race, the human race. That sounds like equality to me. Sorry, I'm ranting in this chat. That's okay. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here. I know y'all are having conversations in here. Just seeing what I missed before we get out of here. Thank you, Lynn, for being here. She said she reposted the stream. I forgot to tell y'all to do that. Hope you followed Lynn's lead. Repost and share. We have a lot of ignorance going on a lot of these podcasts. They're teaching your children how to twerk, how to make their cheeks clap, promoting them having children out of wedlock, promoting division and hate, Marxism, communism, promoting that they are inferior, telling others they're superior, promoting all types of division. If you like what you heard here today, repost this. Hey, Earl Greater Bay. Hey, Thomas. Repost this. Tell somebody. Hi, Kayla Rain. Hi, divine goddess. Look at me. I'm getting tongue-tied. Mean it's time to go. Oop, time to go. Anybody watch The Color Purple? When Squeak told Sophia, "You just a big heifer." And Sophia said, "Fine with me." And then Squeak thought she was gonna slap her. And the piano man said, "Oop," as he started packing up, "Time to go. It's 2:59. That's where we are. It's time to go." But I appreciate you all being here today, because today we set the record straight. Black Americans are not guests in this country. We don't need permission slips from politicians, from your neighbors, from your friends, from the people who look like you. Because a lot of them are looking for permission slips. We talked yesterday that this is not 1985. We're not playing Mother May I. We're not playing that. You don't need permission. You don't need validation. And you don't need to beg to be recognized as citizens. We help shape America. We are America. We are Americans. And the most powerful thing we can do is live like we know it. Unapologetically, but like you got some sense, okay? This is not for you to be in somebody's restaurant twerking on the table talking about, I'm American. This is what I do at home. Okay? Like you have some sense and some home training. So unapologetically, but like you have some sense and some home training, some good home training. That's what empowered people don't ask permission means. It's not just about guns or laws or policies. It's about how we carry ourselves every single day. And tomorrow we're going to build on this. Because once you stop playing victim, you start owning power. Once you stop playing victim, you start owning power. We're not guests in America, so stop acting like it. Head shakers, I will see you tomorrow. Same place, same time. I love you and I appreciate you for being here. Peace.